Everyone. It is December 17th, 2020, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, and this is a meeting of the Cultural and Environmental Learning Center Advisory Board. Calling the meeting to order and beginning with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd please stand. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, Republic for the nation, liberty and justice. Thank you. And beginning with our wonderful council liaison, Jim, would you introduce yourself? Okay, thank you, Jim. And we have Allison with us.
And Sherry Smith.
Sherry. Barbara Hill. Hill. Good to see you.
Sorry. Seal Spuler.
Thank you all. It's a pleasure to have Jim with us today. I appreciate your attendance and your interest in the Mount House. We'll begin actually with our first item on the agenda to nominate our chair and vice chair for the next year. And so I'll open the floor up to nominations at this point.
I would like to nominate Barbara Hill for chairman of our committee.
Oh, thank you, Seal.
I would like to second.
Thank you, Becky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all very much. It is a pleasure to serve as your chair for yet another year. It's a privilege, and I really do appreciate it.
Yes, you bet. You do a great job. Yep.
Thank you.
We love it.
Thank you. It's a position of honor, and I take it seriously, and I'm just very appreciative. For vice chair, we are looking for nominations for vice chair. And currently that is Sherry Smith, who's done a great job of being a vice chair.
Yes.
And are we going to look for nominations from the floor? Okay.
Warner, make sure you say your name.
Becky Warner. And do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Seal second. All those in favor of having Sherry Smith serve again as vice chair?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? None. Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank
you are
you.
now
And
vice chair yet again for
I
another
take it
year.
very seriously, and I think I've done it one time that you have been gone. So, thank you.
Approval of the minutes is next, and I'm assuming all of you had an opportunity to read the minutes that Allison sent out last week. And you know, it's really amazing. We have not met since last August.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that's the longest time we've ever gone without a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
It was rather stunning. August, I said, we're reviewing August minutes, but
Kind of bothers me that if we can get along that long without us.
well, you know, I was thinking about that driving over, and I thought, well, what a kudos to Allison and her
Right,
staff
exactly.
that they're handling everything so beautifully that we
Exactly.
really don't have to worry. There's very little for us to be doing at this point, simply
Right.
because of the able staff and the great leadership. Thank you, Allison.
Exactly. We did pick out paint. Yeah,
I
we
mean,
did.
really,
We did
I
have
think
to
we've
have
kind of been demoted, though. I mean, yes, and we'll bring up the subject of the paint a little later on. So, shall we approve the minutes from August 27th? Okay, Becky.
I'll second.
Thank you, Becky. And
I'll
Sherry, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay, so days 12, 17. Becky, you did the motion, right? Okay, thank you. Okay. We don't have anyone who's interested in speaking, so we'll move on then to meet our new museum educator, Adam Knight.
So this is Allison Geeson. Thank you, Barbara. Unfortunately, he was not able to come today. But I did give you his resume. I know that you all will be by the museum and that you will eventually meet him. He has a master's from Johns Hopkins University in Museum Studies, undergraduate in anthropology and concentrated in international women's studies. He was at Edison and Ford for 4 years. And we're just really excited that he's here. He did an internship at Atatiki at the Bailey Shell Museum, and you can look on there he has been there since November 20th. I think Friday, November 20th was his first day, and he's getting right in and doing a phenomenal job. So please welcome him when you see him. And again, I'm sorry he couldn't be.
Sure, but what an impressive resume. That is awesome. I mean, museum studies and an interest in anthropology and demonstrated positions with the Edison Estates. I mean, that was tailor-made for you.
Yes.
Good decision on your part.
Thank you very much, Barbara. We had a lot of good candidates, and he really did stand out and best fit for the staff overall. We're really excited. I know that you will all be meeting him. Some of you have already met him in the volunteer socials. He's going to be helping to do some of the volunteer training via Zoom until we can physically meet again. So we're going to be playing in the summer of 2020.
Right.
So,
He's a very likable person. He's
yes.
a people person, and that's
Very
what
much
I
is.
liked, because he just doesn't now do his work. He was greeting when I was going home or something, and I guess he had a job to do, but he stopped someone and said, "Are you going into the museum?" Because it looked like they were just going for a walk, but please do. And I thought that was excellent.
He comes with a very good skill set already, which is wonderful. So he's just a great fit.
And what are going to be his responsibilities as educating, as a museum educator?
So he does all programs, including the kayak tours. He also assists with all the volunteer training, just like Katie Beth did. So it's really a complement and side-by-side position. Dexter is the environmentalist. He's the biologist. Adam will be the museum educator, assisting in all the programs as well. So he's been on all the kayak trips so far and beach walks, and has done the programs now. So he is there to help in any way. And then we're such a small staff, Barbara, that we all learned cross-training. So today he's in the museum store because Misty is on vacation starting next week. So he is learning all of the things in that. And the great thing is he already had that experience at Edison Ford. So it's just a wonderful segue. And of course I knew his supervisor. So he came really great references.
Did you work with him when
No.
he came after you left?
Came after, but I still know the staff that's there that heads the education department. So it was a really great experience to be able to meet up with them and to really get some good information on all the fun. So
Wonderful.
yeah, and their
Wonderful.
loss, I'm telling you, I know.
And I think, was that the position that you were going to hold off on?
I did for a little while. Yes, I did, because we had not. The museum wasn't open, Barbara.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so I started interviewing when we reopened in October, and then I got to fill it, by November 20th, which I knew that I needed to have somebody in there long before season. That was really important, to not have to wait until January, February to get the position filled. I would not have been able to have operations for that.
Right. Any of you have any comments to Allison with regard to the education coordinator?
We're very excited to have that.
That would segue then into your director's report.
Yes, it will. So I want everybody to see, the director's report is both for October and December. Since we didn't meet, there was some things in there that you can kind of segue into. We did have a few homeschool groups. If you look in October, they were all outside, socially distanced, everybody in masks. We did have a few group tours. They were super small. You see that those groups were under 15. We split them up, so there were no groups, more than 10 anywhere on the property. They didn't go in the museum. Everybody was outside, and we had our programs out there. They were successful. I just wanted you to see kind of, what we were doing in October, which we did have some returning school groups. Our end of the year recap, that is the next page in blue here. I always like to show you our numbers. Now, I know that, and it's this page, it's our chart. I know that we were closed, but I'm going to tell you I wasn't totally unhappy with those numbers. I think
Considering COVID?
considering when we were closed, we still had people coming out to the site. And I'm okay with that. I hope you all are too. I think our marketing is working. We have so many good things in place. So I wanted to share that with you. I'll be glad to share a revenue report when I get that from finance. Closing out at the end of the fiscal year, I'll be sure to get that from them, and then we can do some comparisons. But I was very pleased with our numbers.
What I find really remarkable is the fact that, we had a full year open in fiscal year 16-17, right? And that was only a little bit higher than what we had with our being closed
right.
for months. So that's exemplary. And I think a large part of that has to do with, and I checked your social media comments, is the fact that social media is so great at getting the word out, and it's a word of mouth thing. And a lot of people have come, even though they can't maybe take a full museum tour, that they're taking advantage of what's on the grounds.
Thank you, Barbara. Yes, we do have a new social media campaign. We had a company, I think that they did September and October, and then we picked back up with a local company in November. They will carry us through season, so we have it through April. So you'll see a lot of new posts on Instagram and our Facebook page from a local marketing company to help get the word out about all of our programs.
Well, the amazing thing to me is that the difference of the different things in the comments, I got that feeling when I was reading them.
Oh,
The surprise.
the TripAdvisor reviews? Yes.
The surprise
Yes.
effect. They didn't know it was going to be like what it was. And I thought that was, people, we all write in and everything, but it's a surprise. Wow, this is better than I thought. And
Yeah.
I think that's just a different kind of an element.
Yes, I really want you all to take a look. Staff works really hard to make sure that we are in the excellent for TripAdvisor, and we have been for 5 years in a row, and we've earned our certificate of excellence now because we have been 4.5 or 5 stars for that amount of time. So I really hope that you'll take a little bit of time to read over those. Thank you, Seal, for commenting on that, because it's really important to us that we provide a unique and good experience.
And let the record reflect that Miss Betty Simpson has just arrived.
Welcome,
Right over
welcome.
there, Betty.
But Allison, the different ways they express themselves or what appear, it doesn't show that it's just a one thing, you see. It's so varied because well, of course, what you selected. There's so much to do that I think that's where the surprise comes.
Yes. That's what been our big marketing message is. We're more than a museum. Yes, we are a museum, but we have so much more. And we really want people to be able to see that from our reviews. This is from TripAdvisor. We have good ones on Google. If you all are ever on there, please check it out. We always want people to review us on those sites because that encourages visitation for us. 10 things to do, Fort Myers Beach, action, we're in that. So we want to keep that really strong, as Barbara said, to get the word out in the social media. When I go and I travel, I look and see what people are saying about restaurants and different places and things because I want to hear what they have to say. So this is a very good tool for us. And I have to say the team has been phenomenal to make sure this is.
I like this one woman who wrote that her husband was not crazy about tours and that he actually loved the tour.
Did. That was cute.
Right? Was that
did. I
so
corrected that
adorable?
Also, too, in the paper, Gary Mooney
Yes.
has had the news press and,
has.
Several times. And
Yes,
yeah,
I've been working really hard with
right.
him.
So that
I'm just going to
helps.
let you all know, social media is strong, but print continues to be the best for us, for our audience right now. So we really want to do both
there's
to
one
be
in
able
today.
to reflect that. So, the paper has been great. Thank you, Sherry, for that.
Beach Talk Radio did a
Yes.
great
Pat.
show last Saturday, I believe,
Yes.
right? Yes.
The
Is
author.
this the place, or are you going to talk about it later, about the book
Well, we have it on the
we have it on the
agenda
agenda.
separately,
Okay,
so we'll
because-
definitely talk about that.
I was so excited about that news, and
Yes.
I didn't quite know when that was gonna come, and I
Yes.
wanted to make sure you.
It's number 10 on the agenda.
Yes, I know, we have to wait. So, with the director's report, what I wanted to update you all on is I do have, this was really exciting news, and I just couldn't wait to share it with you all. The underground stabilization project with University of Florida and University of Georgia is a go. They are totally committed. We're going to do a huge collaborative project with local museums, Atatiki, FGCU, everybody. So we're getting everything in order, and we've tentatively scheduled that for August of 2020. So that is a big deal that we want to make sure that we have a lot of great educational programs, and we have lecture series and continue to get information. Dr. Victor Thompson, who is the one who worked with Dr. Marquardt on all the Mound Key and several other projects, very familiar with Mound House, is going to lead that project with the University of Florida and the Florida Museum of Natural.
Can you just give us a timeline on obviously it starts in August 2021, but how long will that project take, do you
So-
believe?
Well, they think the excavation part will only take about 2 to 3 weeks because it's really not a lot to be able to remove. But with our programming, that will extend some of it. So we're still kind of real early planning as far as how long that is, because we want to continue to have educational programs even after the research has been, after the excavation has been, everything is moved, there'll be analysis and things that will come out of that once they analyze the soil and the artifacts and do everything. So it will, the actual them probably being in, at the Mound House would be within a month. And then other things will come of that once they get analysis of.
I think I emailed you a question about what Ada had done to the
Yes. Thank you
the
for that.
bottom of the excavation, because we had a lot of water,
Storm
the
surge,
Gulf waters rising on our island during that storm, and I just wondered what kind of impact that had on our underground exhibit.
We had, and I had that on there, thank you for bringing that up, Barbara. We did have some storm surge. One of the neighbors sent me a video. It was not too bad. It just really brought up a lot of things, rack line and things like that. But the underground, it wasn't anything like Irma at all. There was some water that came in through the drain because the sump pump and the system could not keep up with that. But it was not any bad damage at all. It was pretty good. Though I didn't notice any big changes. Like Irma, you could see the water line where the storm surge came and it infiltrated the hole, and that's not what happened. There was a little bit of water around the drain inside. In one of our stanchions, you could tell water had been in there, but by the time I had gotten there, because we had that high tide and full moon, all that was going on, it had receded.
What I find so remarkable is that I'm only 2 canals away from you.
And it was different for you.
And I had more water during Ada than I had during Irma.
Right.
Far more.
Right.
And only being 2 canals away, that just somehow doesn't make any sense. But there it
Logically,
is.
you're like, what
So
is
I
it?
thought, there must be horrible damage, because it came up into my grass
Yes.
from the canal.
Yeah, we had it on the bottom of the mound. One of our neighbors, who's also a member that lives down, sent me the video, and he texted me, he said, boy, the Calusa really knew what they were doing. So
Higher ground.
He
Right.
totally kept me, and it was fine. I mean, it just got on the shell driveway, washed away some mulch and brought in some stuff, but the team was great, and they had it cleaned up within a week.
Well, and I'm not really so concerned about the
Yeah.
the grounds itself, but the excavation, I think,
It was as good as it
amazed
could
that-
have been, yeah. And that's, again, why we're really anxious to have this project happen, so we can preserve that provenance, that every time water comes in, if something moves, then it's a compromise. So I'm really excited. I can't wait for you all to meet the research team. And it's just going to be a good project, so.
Is someone going to be videotaping
Absolutely, Barbara, yes.
the entire, to
Absolutely,
document it? So that
yes.
could be part of the educational component?
Yes, so that was one thing that they were saying, well, about 2 weeks, and then I said, well, we want a video, and we have some things that we want to do within this 2 weeks, like some special programs and things, so that's why the timeline is, we're still working on, like, getting all those things together.
Right.
So, yeah.
You're just talking about stabilizing the wall and the actual excavation.
Well-
What is the actual goal? What are they
The goal
intending
is to remove the rest of the units on the
They're,
floor.
they're taking the squares away?
Yeah, they're not square anymore, Barbara. Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
well, right, no, I know.
Yeah.
They were,
So they are. We're talking about the wall, and I don't know exactly what we're gonna do with that wall, because, I need to check with some structural engineers and the soil engineers, the archaeologists, the research, and I agree, we need to read that. See if what we do is really gonna make a difference, because if it's not, we're not gonna bother with it. Does that make sense? It's always gonna move a little bit. It's done really well in the last 5 years. We've got good climate control. I just need to make sure that what we do is gonna actually help and not hinder the process. Does that make sense? We know that the excavation, and that's really great, because that's where a lot of artifacts are from the first time the mound was actually occupied. So, we are looking to get information there. I will get back to you on the wall. There's still open discussion on that.
that's not actually part of this
Not yet,
excavation.
no. This is only the units.
Stabilization of the actual excavation, not the wall. I didn't realize that, okay.
Now, I don't know if this is an appropriate question, but are the field notes of when they were doing the work on that available?
No, they are missing. We don't have any information on the pool project.
Wow,
Really?
Nothing. No, we don't.
because I would have thought that would have been something that would really help.
Yeah, no, those have been missing since before I got here.
Oh, my word.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, we do not have anything on that project.
Really?
This will give us some information, so that will be helpful. The only thing we have is lab analysis with different information that we have that doesn't mean anything to us, because we don't have any kind of field notes or anything. So we have nothing.
Well, Teresa is in town. Would it be appropriate?
No, I know that she doesn't
Okay.
have anything for us.
I just, if there
so-
was anything to help, this is such a
Yeah.
big
Oh,
deal.
sure.
That to help in any way, because that's such an important project
know.
for you.
I know. I'm almost positive before she left, she had everything on site. I can't guarantee that, but it's in the minutes that the town manager at the time said that he had everything that he, I think you all verified that with me, so I don't know that reaching out to Ms. Schober would do any.
And wouldn't you think that the town would have those archives? Because that's actually town, you know, document.
They're still looking
surprises
everywhere,
me.
but I have been scoured through everything that I could, and everybody, I've notified other department heads to make sure that they find anything that they can't quite know what it is to let me know, but it's just not been located yet.
Narrative in some of the grant applications must have addressed that excavation, though.
It didn't have field notes or anything.
Okay, all right, it was the
Yeah.
field notes
And the
specifically.
final report with the state has never been filed. So there was no report sent to the state for the site number. When you do major projects like that, it's a requirement that the state, you file with the SHPO's office on your findings, and nothing has ever.
Especially because they gave us funding, that is a requirement, so they never received anything. They not asked for it either.
Not that I've been aware of. And I don't know their time limit on when is an appropriate time limit to ask for it. Makes sense?
Hard to know.
Surprising.
So anyway, back to I'm very excited about the project.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's gonna
It's a,
be,
it's a long time
project.
coming. We're all very excited that that's going to
So
be happening.
thank you though, Seal, for offering for that. If anybody has any information, that would be great, but I've kind of exhausted the search on that. So we are just gonna start the project, and they will record, and we'll have new information and if those show up one day, wonderful, but we're just gonna let them do the research and be a part of that. So I want to point out some of the things that the staff was working on. We have a new visitor's guide. If you all remember, we used to have a little sheet, look like not even as nice as this, that we would
A
give
brochure.
visitors
Right.
to show them where they were going. And
Nice.
it was not adequate because people didn't know where to start, and some people really love maps. And so This is our first draft, and I think it's really, really fun. The kids are having a good time finding things. And it's very clear where you start,
really
where
is.
you are, and then
Nice.
also the stories beneath our feet on the back. So I'm very proud of this. Visitors really love this. We haven't heard anything, but if you all as docents hear something that, maybe they are confused about or they have a question about, let me know, because, we don't get too many of these printed. We can always make those changes. So this is kind of what you would call work in progress.
It's nice.
But I think it's a beautiful little piece. So far, everybody's really enjoyed this. So we're really excited to have this, to be able to orient our visitors who like to follow along with maps. So
What I think is remarkable about this front image, this photograph of the Mound House, is that you see the Gulf of Mexico,
yes,
which is just quite
It's
unusual,
awesome.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it gives the context of, oh my gosh,
Sure.
this is all just on an island, right?
bet.
yeah. The company that I
beautiful.
work with, they did a beautiful job, I have to say. I was very pleased. Also, I think you all have seen these. These are activity cards that are in our galleries.
Yeah.
These are really great. We had some families coming in because, it hits around the holidays. And the kids were having a lot of fun with their families doing these little activity cards. So wanted you all to see those. And they're having a lot of fun with those. Very glad, because a lot of it is kind of on their own. They can take these, they can take them home. And then we have our little free scavenger hunt that we have. That is something that Katie Beth and Dexter worked on before she and Love Where Do Sharks Go on Vacation. It's just a lot of fun. So we encourage people, if they don't want to go in the museum and they want to be outside, this is what we had for them to do. If they visited the grounds, the museum was closed. So a lot of fun things that adults and families alike are being able to enjoy. These are actually in little holders in some of the galleries. Like this one is in in the Ancient People Gallery, so they can find the mass. We have this one where they can go outside and find something. This one, of course, is in the Case Living Room. And then we have this one in Settlers on the Shelves. So it leads them to be able to find things and interact with things, as well as the museum guide for each of the galleries. So if you notice, we did that on purpose to make sure they kind of visit and don't miss anything.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
anyway, so it's kind of fun.
Great.
Were there cards earlier too? These are not, is this the first time we had these kinds of cards?
I worked on it. I had some that were not the professional printing that I think I shared with you at the last meeting.
Right.
So yeah, it was. These are just for those who weren't at the
These
meeting
are beautiful.
to see.
They're
And I
really-
thought the professional printing was much nicer than what I
They're
showed you.
beautiful.
all.
I mean, the others were serviceable, but these are
Yeah,
far more
these are
professional.
these, because we did the prototype, to kind of see how they were, and then we ordered through the printer to be able to get these really nice. So yeah.
Oh, it looks terrific.
Those are just some of the things that that we've been working on, and we're very excited to see the visitors interact. That's the most fun, I think, to be able to see that. So that really concludes my director's report, unless you all have some specific questions about something in there that you all would like me
Do
to
you all have
address.
any questions for Allison?
We're not looking to change our museum hours in January. I'm just going to tell you, we are keeping our hours the same until the pandemic passes. And we feel that is best for staff and visitors. Gives us a day to be able to fog and clean the museum. And it also limits exposure to our staff, and we can have outdoor kayak tours on the days that our museum is closed. So if you look at our calendar of events, that is what we're doing. It seems to be working really well right now. So I am taking, we're getting our membership brochures reprinted, and I'm just taking the seasonal hours off, because we just don't know what that's going to look like in the future. So I'm just going to let you all know we're not going to go to 5 days a week.
And I think most people sort of, make an effort before they come and visit to go online to see what the museum hours
Yes,
are.
and-
Because you're not certainly in a unique situation. All
Right.
museums are going through precisely this.
Right, and we've updated on Google Hours, Google Business. A lot of people Google us, so we try to keep everything up to date. And then also letting people know, including our members, just check our website or call us if you ever, we keep our voicemail message. Of course, we're closed next Thursday and the Thursday after because that's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So we've updated those for our visitors. But we're just going to hold tight on our programming amount and load through season until we feel that we can increase that safely.
I wondered, Allison, we have had a lot of publicity by Gary,
Yes.
and I understand from your report that, he is doing this on a regular basis.
He is.
Is there a set schedule, or is it just that intermittent? Because I have noticed, and they're ideal, and he always changes it in a way so that it isn't just like every week, and that sort of thing. Is there a time that he's set for this, that he's hired to do this, or is it just intermittent when you think it's necessary?
No, it's constant. I constantly send him ideas on pitches for stories, and then Gary, having the wonderful experience that he has, makes it just like that, and there it goes. So I'll say, hey, we've got the book coming out, be sure to mention these points, and he just does a wonderful job pitching the project. So we work together on things, and he always submits. He submits every week is what he does, either our programs or a special interest story. We've been very good. My goal is to get us in the Tropicalia, though, because more readership is on Sunday, and I know that we've been in the Thursday Go Coastal, but I really want him to push for the person who is in charge of that to get us in the Tropicalia. So that's my
Right.
next goal, is for them to get us some print in Tropicalia, because I see other attractions like us in there, and I really feel that would mix it up a little bit and get us additional coverage, because there are more people that read the Sunday paper
This
than
is
the Thursday.
excellent.
Yeah, he has
That's
done just a
excellent.
phenomenal job. So
He's definitely a fan.
oh, he
Yes,
is.
indeed.
He is just, he
We're
has done
fortunate.
that. So thank you, Seal, for noticing that. We've had a lot of great, and we'll continue to have great publicity.
Good.
So wonderful. So, and I'm so thankful that he chose to.
He's still here.
Yes.
To be at the
Me
news
too,
press,
yes.
because we certainly miss him here on the island with
Oh,
the
we do.
newspaper. That was a huge loss for us, and
We
nothing
do.
has
We-
quite filled the bill, so
He's,
it's nice that he's changing
I
some of that
know.
through the news press, but still with
I
the
feel
same
very
message.
fortunate that he has been able to get those stories really well written and very nice. The photographs, real big, front and center. We were mentioned 4 times in the last of the Go Coastal. I don't know if you, Tamara, when the VCB, she was mentioning things to do. She mentioned the Mound House. We had the Calusa Carvers in there, and we had another one in there, the things to do or for holidays. But it was just a wonderful coverage. We were mentioned in different articles written by different people that the Mound House.
Do a documentary.
We will definitely be reaching out to them. So I can't, it's such in the early stages right now, and the pandemic has really kind of put a lot of things in a different way. So I will definitely keep you all posted.
Oh, right,
Really is what kind of made Fort Myers Beach happen. I mean, it really, obviously, in the 40s, which was when it was beginning to take off, but the shrimping industry in the early 50s is what brought it to that next level. But it's an important part of the story of the beach. With regard to the financial picture of Mound House to date, because I know we don't have a financial report, can you just kind of give us an overview, or how, are we horrible? Are we?
I really can't, Barbara, and I don't want to misspeak on record because we're on YouTube and this is being streamed live. and in minutes, I will get that to you later. I can't even begin to guess.
Okay, well, I think everyone recognizes the limitations that we've had with regard to bringing in revenue to offset our expenses for the Mound House, but I was just curious as to what the status is.
I totally I couldn't even guess on that, but I will get with finance to get an official end-of-year revenue report out so we can see what we did.
If there's no other questions for Allison, I will move to agenda item number 9, the exterior painting and restoration of Newton Beach Cottage. Okay, so feedback, you guys.
Good.
What do you think?
You picked the color. The majority picked the color, so there were 5 out of 7 that picked.
Yep. And I love the dried lavender, and I was not one of your voters initially, but I think the rest of you that have that eye bought it, because I think it looks terrific. I really do.
It looks like a
Kudos.
totally new little
Kudos.
cottage.
Yep, it does. It gives it all new feeling, the whole thing.
So they're not quite done yet. What happened, the company that's working on it is replacing all the rotted and things that are not there, and so it took a little time. It was a very small but roof repair that needed to be done in 2 areas. They're going to be back January 5th, and they will finish it up. They tried to get the front part as much completed, so when you're looking, you didn't notice so much maybe the back or the sides that were not totally 100% completed. They're doing a phenomenal job. So if you ever get up there up close and personal, the cypress on the outside is wonderful and in very good shape. But I don't know if anybody went to visit when they were there just to see. They did exactly, they scraped, they sanded, they made sure everything, the base was just right, and then applied that coat. So I think it looks, and then right now we're just kind of lowering some of the vegetation right there so you can visually see
Right.
Newton a little more. So, as you all drive by and look, you'll see a few changes happening there. So very excited, and it should be complete definitely before the end of January.
I'm glad to hear you say that about the landscaping, because I
You can't
walked
see
down there
anything.
and I walked all the way through, and it was like a veritable jungle. And I understand, native landscaping, but I do think that in order for that building to be seen from both the beach and from Estero Boulevard, there's got to be some radical.
There does, yeah. And it'll be a process, so
adjustments.
it'll happen gradually over time, but you will see that in the next few months.
Good.
Especially now with the restoration of the building, the
Yes,
exterior.
we want to show it off.
You want to show it
Yes,
off,
you
exactly.
bet.
So that's ongoing, and I think it will be really beautiful. It already is, looks so much better. So you all just know that the end of January, I haven't talked to Joe or Carol. They came to visit the team doing the restoration, and the team was like, they're so nice. So they've definitely been over there to see it. But I haven't gotten to talk with them. So. One of the colors was one that you all initially chose from that Carol had.
Just going to say,
Harry, yes.
thank you. I'm just going to think on, with respect to the Mound House trimmings, I was there the other day, and I'm there on a regular basis because we're,
The Mound House or Newton Beach Park?
sorry, Newton Beach Park. And the parking area, one of the things we're trying to do at the council is in figure out ways to protect view corridors so we could actually see the ocean from the street and the sidewalk. And where the little fence is where the parking lot is, there's a sign for about beach access there. I think it's overgrown. I took some pictures. I'll
great,
text them
Tim,
to you.
yeah.
But if we could just have that trimmed back a little bit, then you could see the ocean from the street and the sidewalk. And as we know, there's fewer and fewer areas where you can see the ocean.
Yes.
That's so nice for our tourists
So,
and
yeah,
residents to see
as
that.
long as it's not on the side of Joe or Carol, because we do allow the vegetation to grow up very high for their view shed, so they're not when they're out. Is it on the other side of Strand View?
It's on the Strand View side.
Great.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
that'll work out. We want to be good neighbors.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it would actually look nicer and give better views to the ocean.
Wonderful. Yes, please send me those photos for sure. Newton is coming along. I'm really excited about it, you all. Be sure if you can drive by and see it looks
Is
like.
the building being used for anything right now?
No, you know, Barbara, we're not renting anything right now. We're not encouraging
yeah.
the spread of anything. So unfortunately, I have had to down some rentals of wanting to have, people come together. That's not something we're doing right now. It really is not. It is an office, and we are using it for, that. But I mean, as far as during the pandemic, we're just not encouraging people to have groups of people together inside. We're really.
Barry, did you have some comments?
No,
You're
I
fine,
probably was just,
There is one now, but that's something that's got to get trimmed back because the fire bush there, you can't even where the little trail goes to. So that is one thing on the to-do list, Becky. Yes. Yes, it is. And we worked with the town environmental department, community development, to get a permit to be able to help relocate some of those COs because they were taking over the interpretive signs and the picnic tables. So Chad helped us to get a permit with the state to be able to relocate those right there on the property. But if you all had seen it, the COs, it's such a wonderful but it was actually encroaching on our signs. And we got to just take it back just a little bit. So if you look at that, you can see that there's a more area between our signs than our COs. They're happy there. I love that. That is something that we want.
But we also want to encourage good marketing, and signage does a great job in terms of,
You bet.
right? I mean,
You want to make sure that you do that.
I'm a real advocate, as you remember, of my always wanting that gateway sign at the front and some noticeable signage in the
me
back
too,
to
me
really,
too.
because
Yep.
that's the best kind of
I
free
know,
marketing there
I
is,
know.
right?
I love
But
that.
obviously now is not the right time because we're really not offering programming there, so except for
Not
the
yet,
shell walk. But
yeah, something to look forward though in the future.
I think that once now the look of the town with the new
New logo and
the new
branding.
colors, maybe that can now be revisited. So that entire property then will have a greater presence. We're already off to a great start with the color of the building and the cutting back of some of the landscaping, but I still think the signage will go a long way in making that, have it a real presence.
Agreed. And, our beach walks are still popular.
Yes.
So, I know the inside of the building is not getting utilized, but we are still offering programming there. And that's, we do that 2 days a week. So we're very excited and proud to still be able to do.
That's popular.
So, Gail did a few when she first arrived back. Now it's Louise is doing them, and then our staff. So we kind of trade out on that. So we still have a volunteer. Louise usually does them on Thursdays. And Gail did do a few for a little while, and then our staff takes up on we rotate everybody on Tuesday. Yes. Not yet. We're kind of working on a project, one at a time. The exterior restoration was a big project. I'm working on the landscaping to kind of get that, and then we'll move on to other improvements. That is on the list. That's on the strategic plan. So when we review again in January, that's when those will be. I'll give you an update.
That would be for our next meeting.
That will be, yes.
Okay.
Those are both Mound House and Newton are on the same schedule. So that will for sure get addressed.
Well, the wonderful thing about the beach walk is that we get so many people that come to the Mound House afterwards.
They do, Seal.
They really follow through because whoever, if it's Gail or Gloria or whatever, they told us we must come. That's what they say, which I think the girls do a good job about that.
Yes,
They take the tours.
yes, they do. It's been really, you're right. I do a very good job. So, any other questions about Newton Beach Cottage?
No,
Thank you all for all your help of driving by and sending me your votes. I appreciate
It was
that.
fun.
The crown jewel of Fort Myers Beach The Mound House book is
Yes.
out
Yes.
for distribution. It's in the Mound
Who
House
has the
gift shop.
copy?
Who has it? Betty?
Ah,
Yeah. Barbara, you haven't seen it, right?
So, you all wanna, so Barbara was asking me, she said, so, did it meet your expectations? So, when I was talking to, Pat, this is a guidebook from the Edison and Ford. You've got one from the Dolly Museum. Monticello has one, and then American Museum of Natural History museums. So, I showed him this. I said, I think this would be great. Have the history, and then look at what that is. So expectations were just blown out. I mean, I just think he did a phenomenal job. Dr. Marquardt, Dr. Thompson, and Bill and Susan Grace, everybody had a part in that if you read the acknowledgments page. I think it's beautiful and fabulous and such a wonderful addition, and Pat to volunteer all of his time for that. I will let you know that we have sold, since November 23rd, we have sold 160 books.
have you
Whoa.
really?
So,
Wonderful.
we had a realtor come in Tuesday and buy 120 copies for all of his rental units.
Oh, fabulous.
Fantastic.
And Pat
Good
signed,
idea.
autographed all of them, and they will be in the units, and that's exactly how that
perfect.
book should work. So it's
Exactly.
more
that's
than just
beautiful.
a piece that people ask for. It's marketing for us. People see that, they want to come to the museum. They're going to know about us. It's not too intimidating to read. It's just a really great amount for somebody on vacation, doesn't want to get bogged down with the. It's just a wonderful, beautiful piece. So excited that he and Pat came with his wife yesterday to sign all of those copies.
Aw.
It was so wonderful. So anyway, we're really excited because proceeds all go to the Friends of the Mound House. So anything that that is profit goes to them. So it is just a wonderful project, and thank you, Jim, for bringing that up at the council meeting. That I'm super excited. The thing about this is that it's going to sell throughout the year. It is the number one thing, other than Visitor's Guide and also the memoirs that are not published anymore. So it's just something that people always ask about. So it's going to continue to sell. So we're very excited. And to purchase with a purpose is what my message has been. People want to, it's been a rough year for a lot of people, want to buy something that actually benefits a small 501c3 organization, then this is a perfect gift for somebody. We did gift packages where we have kayak tours. You have 2 tickets, 2 gift certificates for a kayak tour, or you can get 2 museum passes, and it's deeply discounted. The book is not available for discount, though. So that all goes toward, even members can't get a discount on the book. It's just excluded
What is
from
the
that.
price of the book?
Price is $24.95 plus tax.
Okay.
Yes, he is a member. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. Yes, I sent a thank you letter and gave him, we'll pick up the books tomorrow. His name is Bob Oakes, and he's a realtor. He actually has a North Carolina address, but he is a member of the Mound House, and the staff thought he was kidding when he came.
Remember we said in our August meeting we were going to write a letter?
Well, I was going to mention that, and I did say that I was going to write the letter, and I remember this meeting today, and I said, darn it, but now it's a good time to do it.
Yes,
And especially because of, Christmas, we just thanked him. It was just
Oh,
a
right,
lovely
right.
gift, so maybe this is the best time. So, yeah, I hadn't
That
forgotten.
probably is better,
I hadn't forgotten, yes.
especially that.
So the cost of the actual publication, obviously he donated his services to do all the writing and compile all the data, but obviously that has got to be a considerable expense. Was that by the Friends of the Mound House
Friends
then?
of the Mound House fronted the money up to purchase the book at wholesale, and then they're reselling it just like so I buy it at a price where they make proceeds from.
How many were printed?
1,508.
Wow, not that many.
What I wondered, and maybe it's not appropriate, and Pat wouldn't want to do it, but like when I got mine for my whole family, and he signed all of them with something special,
Aw.
it made it really, when they got it, it made it so much, and I wondered, could there be a day or something when the
signing.
Calusa were there, and there are other people that it would say in the paper and give it a couple of weeks' notice, mentioned that he would be there.
A book signing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a book signing.
We're trying not to promote a lot of people coming at the same time. So what Pat has agreed to do is anybody who calls, who wants that, we arrange with him to be able to get that.
Good.
Just like with Bob Oaks. However, Pat and his wife Carolyn are out of town for 5 weeks, so they won't be back.
Oh, that's right, I
So it would
forgot.
have to be after the holidays, but Pat did agree anytime that somebody wanted something inscribed that he would be glad to do it because he was there once a week. And he was so good to come in and sign all of those copies. So that,
Right.
But, very, very nice and really
It
excited.
makes it looks very special when he assigns it. He
Yes,
does a good
yes.
job. He actually asked you, what do you want to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my kids, he says something different to all of them.
Yes.
It's very
And
personable.
I had to buy one for Maureen because, Maureen Riccitelli, because she was the very first member that the Mountain House had. She always thought that was just so great. She beat me out. I'm number 2. But anyway, I bought that for her and had him inscribe it to the very first member of the Mountain House.
Oh, nice.
Oh, neat.
That for
Oh,
her,
nice.
for a little surprise because she was such a good supporter and I just knew that she.
But it's beautifully done. By
Yes.
putting it together, it is top draw.
It's a beautiful cover. I think
It is.
Everything.
it is wonderful, and I'm so pleased at the size and everything because it's a wonderful thing to leave out. Have a rental unit or guests that are interested.
It's perfect. Perfect.
you happen to have his address, where he's going to be for the next 5 weeks?
I do not, but I can find out for you though.
If you could just email
Barbara.
it to me, that
I
would be
will.
lovely.
I'll text him because
Because I don't want to wait 5 weeks for
Oh.
him to get the letter, so,
I'll email that to you.
oh, fantastic, thank you.
Barbara? If I might, I just wanted to, first of all, I had the opportunity to introduce this at the last town council meeting, and I'm a history major from the University of Wisconsin, proud of that. It's spectacular. Whoever, designed it, the pictures, like Allison said, it's just short enough for if somebody's on vacation. It's a light read, but it's still
not
substantive.
intimidating.
Yeah, but it's still substantive. And after I did that, we really got a great response from our island media. And I wanted to thank Ed and Kim Ryan. They had
Yes,
Pat
they
McGowan
had
on their
Pat
show
on for Saturday,
last Saturday.
yes.
And of course, they have over 1,000 listeners at least. And then they did an in-depth interview with Patrick, and he did a great job. And it was a great.
Yes. Yes. I agree, Jim. Yeah, they just done a great job supporting us for sure.
Yes,
Very,
thank you
very.
for bringing that up. I appreciate that, Jim. Board member items? Shall we start with Sherry?
Yes, I do have one. I wanted to mention we usually have the Christmas tree and this year we had the tree out, and Allison, thank you very much. We were gonna make it all type mound house. We're gonna make that the main focus of it. And Allison said, just go in and whatever you see in the store and stuff, in the gift shop, just help yourself and decorate it. But several friends of the mound house did not feel comfortable going in and decorating with COVID. So they just decided that it would be best, I guess, if we wait till next year. So I have the tree sitting in my living room and I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, nice.
And 2 beautiful wreaths that I don't know where I'm gonna put, but we will have them next year.
Good,
But I
yes.
guess they just wanted to caution, be on the side of caution. And we're worried about too many people in there decorating at the same time.
I think that's good.
I did notice that the Friends of the Mound House was conspicuously absent
Was
from that
not
list,
there.
right?
I know.
Because we know
I-
your design, so.
I know.
We
And
looked.
I was ready, and that I have two beautiful wreaths if anybody wants to buy
Oh.
one. So anyway, but there was just, I guess, real concern on the caution, so I'm just the decorator.
bet.
So,
You do
so
a good
next year,
job.
hopefully,
I
we'll be
remember the
back
one
to
you
normal.
did last year, it was
Oh,
really
that's
marvelous.
darling, yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But you know, the one
nice.
thing we noticed is beauty doesn't get it. They want something
right.
on the tree
That's right,
that they
yeah.
can purchase
That's
or
right,
get.
yeah.
They want
are,
wine,
yeah.
they
It's very
want-
competitive, I'm telling
Yes,
you.
extremely. So, so
All
we'll,
those
we'll.
fishing poles.
Yes, exactly.
Betty.
So we'll step it up next year. I had thought of lottery tickets.
Yeah, oh, those are awesome.
Oh, anyway, so that's what happened to our tree. So we'll be back.
Good, thank you. Betty?
I apologize for being late. You know, you can't tell these doctors to speed it up a little bit. And
Have a meeting.
so he could tell I was a little itchy, and he said, "Is there something you're doing?" And I said, there was. So anyway, I made it quickly. So, but anyway, I just did notice that we didn't have our tree up down there, but that was okay. I mean, there were lots of others, and
Next year.
it was enjoyable. And I guess I always look for the special little things that you put on. And only one year did they let me participate in that part. And I guess I got the eyes where the mouth goes or something.
Oh, we
and
made little Santas, yeah.
anyway, she said, "Why don't you just do something else?" And, you know, like get us some water or something mundane.
We look
But,
like a
I'm very
kindergarten
capable
class. I know you are.
at some things.
And next year I'll find something very special for you to do.
Thank you. I'll put that on my calendar because I'll be waiting. All right, and otherwise, I was just thrilled when I saw that book.
The book is great.
And, you know, we had ideas of what he was going to do, but didn't really put it together in my mind till I saw this. And I just think that we're very fortunate. And I like the idea that it only comes from the Mound House. I mean, it only comes from
Well,
us.
I
There
think
aren't going to be
there's-
other places that are going to be selling it.
Actually, I think there is one other vendor. I think the, me out here. Yes, thank you, Jim. The Islander has agreed to sell some,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
They are, Betty, very limited, but yes, there is one more person, business on
That's
the
good.
island that has
Mm-hmm.
agreed. But you're right, there's nobody else than that, so it'd be local businesses.
That would be all right because if,
All the proceeds still go to the Friends of Mountain
Right,
House, and people,
exactly.
if they haven't been, they're gonna come.
anyway, I was delighted about that, and I just wish everybody has a wonderful holiday. I know it's going to be a little different this year without some of the family and friends being able to come, but we'll get through this, and it's just like another group that we're discussing that we're going to have our Christmas in July. So,
Oh, nice,
whatever
I
it
like
is.
that. I like that.
So anyway, I wish you all well and have a wonderful holiday season with whomever you're able to be with. So, thank you.
Thank you, Betty. I really have nothing to report except, again, you know, as Betty was saying, wish you all a great Christmas and a wonderful New Year, and let's hope COVID by spring winds down. Let's hope most people get vaccinated so that we're good to go come summer,
You bet.
and that this will all be behind us. This too shall pass. I know it will. Just keep the faith.
I think, I just want to say that I think the book was wonderful. And I think one of the things that I think is so neat is that when you take off the cover, hardcover is the picture too.
Yes.
That is really something. You usually don't get that. And that just makes it, it was to the nth degree that everything was thought of. I also got a big kick out when it talked in the comments of a young boy swimming in the pool. I thought that was so interesting, and I just kind of hope maybe over the years we have other people who actually were there in that house.
I swam in that pool.
Well, you ought to put something in it, because that
I
just,
went in that house a lot of times, yeah.
It's an addendum.
I just got the biggest kick out of it, that actually somebody was there with
Yeah.
all this that had been in there when it was the house.
A lot of,
Those are
from
the
what I
things
know,
that make it
Mrs.
come
Long had
alive.
a lot of people over.
Yes.
And a
did.
lot of the younger people that I have talked to that share stories with me remember coming when Mrs. Long lived
Yes.
there. And they were like, oh yeah, we used to come and play, and yeah.
She said, well, come use the pool, and she was,
Yeah.
you know, and the
Traveled
screen
so
door was
much.
always open,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it wasn't really, it was small
Isn't that-
town.
that's just so
Maybe we
wonderful.
can tell Gary that, because that makes, it's a local thing for,
Yes.
in his
Yes.
column, that we know people who swam in the pool, or something to that effect,
A lot
that
of
puts
people
a
have personal
human,
connection
a
to that
human
site.
beachy thing on it.
That's the only.
But I wish you all, I just love this Christmas season, and I think it means even more because we're all going through something, and a lot of people can't be with each other. So it just is an example of making it even more special and making joy more fulfilled. You have to make a real effort this year, which I think is really the gift of it.
And it's difficult, I found it especially difficult to really be focused, because I think, you know, with all of the news and the media and the, you know, the horrific stories every day about how many deaths of COVID, it has sort of pushed me away from thinking about preparing for Christmas, and then I've sort of been caught up short. So, oh my God, I'm not prepared. So I don't know how, I
Yep.
felt very disoriented this Christmas
This
season.
whole
I
thing
do
has
too.
disoriented me.
I
It's
think
the whole
been very,
thing, right.
um,
Yeah. But it's been a good time for self-reflection,
That's true.
I think. Time that we, spend with ourselves.
And I have a friend who said her little boy said, "Does this mean that Santa can still come?"
Yes.
Cool. Very cool.
And I got a kick out of that.
Yeah. Becky.
Yes.
thank you, Becky. You went to our Shop and Save Saturday, didn't you? Didn't you go to a Saturday? Yeah. You know, that promotion is doing well in our store. I want you all to know that. So people are coming just on Saturdays to get their discount.
20%.
Right.
Yeah, the Shop and Save Saturdays. This Saturday is the last Saturday of it. Cindy, are you coming? Yes. You have some items for you. Yeah, so it's a really good, I think I'm gonna do that annually.
I think that's a
Seems
great
to
idea.
help
Yeah,
boost.
good idea.
You know, other museums like MoMA, they do their friends and family. A lot of people do that where members get 20 and it's up from what they normally get, and then non-members get a discount too. It really helps promote some of the things. So we're excited about that. Thank you, Becky, for shopping at the Mount and supporting a small local business.
Wow.
That's great. That's great.
Very cool.
I think our gift shop has some of the most unique treasures
Yes.
in it. I mean, I love to shop there. And then with the children's section, I just think that you're like Becky, you don't need any place else.
And you
Yeah.
look at things, and there was a big fish that was up on the,
Oh, the Barracuda.
yes.
Yes,
And
Betty.
I had a friend with me, and
Gregson original artwork,
Yes.
recycled artwork.
got
Yeah.
that. And of course, I had stopped to get something for my grandson. I mean, it just goes without saying. I miss you because you always have an idea. Well, I think you did that. I think you did that. I think you've done that, you know.
I asked if you'd come in, and I was like, did Betty buy something for her grandson? What did she end up getting this year? That's right.
So anyway, we did fine, and the new puzzle that you have,
The dinosaur, the 3D
yes.
puzzle? Mm-hmm.
Now he may be not into that, but his grandmother is.
Well, see,
So-
and something for everybody.
Yes,
So-
yeah.
We
yeah.
love that.
No, I was delighted, but I just thought it was nice that there's something up on the wall, and I wasn't real sure, you know, is that a part of our decoration, or is it for
No,
sale?
it's
And
for sale.
she asked, and
Yeah.
Dexter to the rescue.
I know, I heard he had to get up there and get it.
It was wonderful.
Cindy, do you have anything to report?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, well, when I go in and out, I obviously take it off and put it on, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to call in, Cindy, it would be totally fine. We want everybody to feel comfortable with whatever it
Exactly.
is.
That was one of the reasons with the tree festival that was decided, because weren't.
Since we don't have any of the members of the public here to comment, we'll go to future meeting date, which I do believe is set for January, was it
The
January
28th,
28th?
it's the fourth Thursday, correct?
And that's when we're going to really be talking about the strategic plan
plans.
updates. Okay, so we'll have some work to do. I would suggest that all of you fill out the current one that we have and offer any recommendations as to what we need to do for the following year.
Also, to announce now that we have a chair and a vice chair, there will be a joint session with council with all the chairs of the advisory boards on January 21st from 9 to 10. So Barbara Hill, if you cannot attend, Sherry will need your place, and we'll send you more information about that.
Okay, you'll email.
I will.
Email. But it's in the morning, did you say?
9 to 10, yeah.
9 to 10, thank you.
I will. I'll email both of you, make sure you have, if you can't go, Barbara, then she, but
Appreciate
Okay,
that. Thank you
just
very
just
much.
need one of us.
really needed to meet today so we could get the chair and vice chair, so we could.
Just to
Great.
save a little money, I'm giving these back
Yes,
to you.
I will collect those.
So I'm
Thank
going
you.
to
These are
put these
wonderful.
up here. Penny saved is a penny earned, right? Isn't that what they say? So if there are no other, is there no other further business to come before our CELCAB? The meeting is now adjourned.
Thank
And that
you.
is 4:10 PM.
Merry Christmas to everyone, to all.
Yes, to all. Mm-hmm.
Healthy, Happy New Year.
Tell the kids hi.
Good meeting, Barbara.
Oh,